Hi everyone, welcome to today's wellness session. Today I'm going to be talking about depression. Depression is more of an internalizing disorder, which means it affects your emotional personal life. This can make it difficult for others to recognize or realize that you may be having a hard time. This is why it's also important to be able to recognize some warning signs that someone may be struggling with depression, or even to recognize that you yourself may be struggling with some symptoms related to depression. First, I'm going to go over some characteristics of depression. The first one is chronic feelings of sadness or frequent crying. And this characteristic is commonly associated with depression and a characteristic that people most think of whenever they think of depression. The second characteristic is eating disturbances or changes in eating patterns. So this could look like eating too much or too little, changes in appetite, and even weight fluctuation. Another characteristic is sleeping disturbances. So this could look like difficulty falling or staying asleep, getting too much or too little sleep. Another characteristic is physical complaints. So this includes like restlessness, fatigue, headaches, any other kind of body aches or muscle tensions. Those would all go into this characteristic of depression. Another characteristic is lack of interest in activity. So things that you used to find enjoyable, you're no longer participating in. And another characteristic is negative thoughts and feelings. So more of a pessimistic way of thinking, or even having thoughts of suicide or some other kind of morbid thought. And another characteristic is irritability, overreactions for seemingly minor inconveniences or minor frustrations. An expression of anger, some form of anger here in this characteristic of depression. Another characteristic of depression is forgetfulness, difficulty making decisions, and poor concentration. The next characteristic is low self-esteem. And another characteristic is isolation or withdrawal from friends, family, and loved ones. Another characteristic is decline in academic performance. And the next characteristic is unresolved or complicated grief issues. And the last characteristic is alcohol or drug use or abuse. And these are all just characteristics of depression, and somebody experiencing depression or even has a diagnosis of depression may only experience some of these characteristics that I just went over, or all. They may experience like some severely and others less intensely. If you feel like that you're experiencing any of these symptoms to the degree that it's interfering with an area of your life, whether it be at school, work, home, or out in the community, I encourage you to consult with a counselor or even your primary care physician. As you can see, depression can take on many forms, and it's more than just chronic sadness and crying. I hope you found the information in this session useful, and I hope you'll stay tuned for our upcoming session when I'll talk about what depression looks like in teens. Thank you for joining today's session, and I hope you'll stay tuned for our upcoming sessions.